Hey bosses, it's Gabrielle. I'm an event income strategy consultant and I help entrepreneurs to use in-person classes and workshops to grow their business. So today we're going to be talking about how to create content that attracts the right people to your brand. More specifically, how to create content that basically helps you to sell out your events. All right. So let's get started. Now, when we think about ticket sales and we think about getting people to your event, the first thing you're probably thinking is, I need to tell people about my tickets. I need to start telling people about the fact that I have an event coming up and here's a ticket sale. Here's how you can get people to, here's how you can get a ticket, right? Here's how you can get to my event. Here's how you can get a ticket. Here's what the event is all about. And that's kind of where you start thinking. And that's a big mistake. Because number one, people really don't know, if they don't know who you are, if they don't understand what you do, they don't get why the event is valuable to them, if they don't understand that certain beliefs they have around certain things is wrong and why your event is important, then really and truly all that talking about this event, this yapping about the event is really in vain. And so in order to avoid doing things in vain, because time is money in your business, you need to have a strategic plan of action to get the right people to your event. And that really and truly comes from putting out the right kind of content out there to your audience members and your community. So let's talk about that. If you're going to create content and if you're going to create any kind of marketing plan to get people to your event, you first want to start off with what you're trying to sell. Now, I think I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Gabrielle, duh, I want to sell event tickets. I feel you, but that's not what I'm talking about at all. What I'm talking about is, what do you want to sell at your event? What is the real purpose for your event? Because your event shouldn't just be an event to be cute or to just have people there or to show the community that you're a really good business person. No, your event should be very strategic. You want to have sales, you want to get new clients, you want to, get new leads on your email list, whatever it is, you should have a strategic plan as to why you're hosting your event, okay? And I've talked about that in the past before. But now that you have an idea of, okay, I want to get sales, for what? Now you think about whatever you're offering, what your service is. So let's say, and hopefully you have a plan of action for your quarterly, for the quarter. If you don't, I have a class all about that. And I'll link that in the comments in the description bar. Now, in that quarter what you want to sell. Okay, you're like, what, I want to make $10,000 this month, $10,000 the next month, and the next month 10,000. So that's 30K in this quarter. And in order to do that, I have to have 6 clients each month for this particular service. And this service is a graphic design service that's all inclusive, right? So let's say that's what you're thinking. A graphic design service, all-inclusive graphic design service, and you're trying to sell 6 units of that, and you want to get 6 clients each month for the next 3 months. That's the goal. That should be where you start. Your event should be tied around that in some form or fashion, and your strategy to get people to your event should be tied around that in some form or fashion. So now let's talk about the kind of content that you got to put out there in order to attract the right people who would need that service and who would also be attracted to this event. Now you want to think about your actual offer. What kind of offer is it? Is it going to really help improve their life significantly? Is it going to solve a major problem that they're having? Is it going to, really and truly take a lot of things off of their plate? More than likely, your answer is yes. You want to start showing your audience member that, number one, you totally get who they are, that you understand them, and you understand them where they are right now. Now, the goal, if you are a graphic designer selling an all-inclusive graphic design package, is I want to help you do your website, your branding, everything, right? Well, you need to show them, okay, I know who you are right now. So verbiage such as, you're trying to you're gearing up to launch your brand, and you have no idea where to start in terms of branding yourself in a way that's going to attract luxury clients. If you say things like that, you're going to attract people who are ready to start branding because of how you worded that particular topic, right? or that particular headline. So you want to start thinking about what the pain point and the problems of your audiences or your audience member is or are. What are their problems? What are the pain points that they're experiencing right now? All right. So when you start to get clear on that right now, where they're at, because of that particular product that you're selling, that's going to solve a particular problem. Now you can start creating content that's going to show people that you are aware of their problem, you are aware of their pain point, and you know how to solve that problem and alleviate that pain point. I will caveat that by saying this. If your offer solves too many problems, then you're going to lose your audience member before you even begin. So make sure that your offer solves one particular problem, max two, okay? Like maybe branding and website design, right? Like, it has to be like complementary problems. Can't be, I'm going to help you solve your email funnel problem, and then I'm going to help you figure out how to write a novel. That's two different things that you need to have two different funnels for, okay? Cool. So you want to have the product or the offer that you're going to be selling at your event, and then you want to make sure that your content to attract those people are tied to that. I'm going to give an example in a second. Now, you want to make sure, because I talked about the different formats of content, right? Content that educates, content that qualifies, and content that converts. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it in the description box below. I highly recommend that you watch this video. Now you can create content that's going to show your audience members that you get it, right? What do your audience member need to know before they can make the decision to purchase your product or service? What do they need to understand? What kind of concept do they need to grasp before they can see the value in your product or service? Now, this kind of content can be things like the reasons why you have been trying to do your website for the last 10 days or the last 10 months, and your website is still halfway done. The mistakes that you're making right now with trying to do your website on your own. Stuff like that, to kind of grasp the attention of the people who are currently going through a situation or a problem that needs your solution right now, okay? That's what you want to make sure that you're clear on. And so what do they need to understand? Content like that. You need to know that you're making this mistake, or you have this limiting belief, or you have this, people are talking about this thing that you should be doing, but that's a mistake, or whatever it is. And then what kind of mindset are they having that's hindering them from getting to a particular goal? Like, you know, the mindset of trying to do everything on their own, when really they would save a lot of time and money if they invested in having someone do it for them. And so you also want to have content that kind of shows them that it doesn't have to be that way. It could be a lot better. It could be a lot different than what they're going through right now if they simply would trust that there's someone out there who is way more experienced and will really give them a valuable service and give them what they're looking for with their particular style, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can also address different myths that's out there that's kind of causing them to be in problems, and different mistakes and beliefs that people are making and that they're falling down that same trap. And you can also shed light on the fact that you have a solution and how your solution can make their life easier. So in terms of content that educates, that will be content like mistakes that you're making, limiting beliefs that you have right now. You know, content that educates could also be things like things that they should probably be doing right now to prepare for your offer. That kind of content would be content that educates. All that stuff. Limiting beliefs, myths, mistakes, mindsets, problems, understanding their pain point, telling your story about how you went from one thing to another, before and after, like a picture of what you were like before the solution, or a client of yours were like before they had the solution. Case studies. Those are content. That's content that actually educates your audience on the fact that they're having a problem, the fact that you understand the problem, and what they need to be doing in order to stop experiencing that problem now. Your job with that content that educates is to disrupt their problem and their pain points with the fact that you know how to solve it. Your in-person event should be the content that qualifies. I'm gonna say that again. Your in-person event should be the content that qualifies. And again, if you haven't watched that video about content that the different types of content in your sales funnel, then I highly recommend that you watch the video. It will be linked in the comment section below. But your event should be content that qualifies, and make sure that you're extracting the right kind of people from your very general audience members and extracting the kind of people that will eventually become your clients, okay? And so I'm going to show you an example of what that looks like in just a second. Let's talk about how this would look in the grand scheme of things, all right? Let's show you how this would look. So you are a graphic and web designer, and your package is coming out, and you want to sell 6 slots for your package where you're going to help them with photography, branding, their logo design, the web design, everything for their brand. So the content that educates that you can put out there would be, hey, right now, you're probably trying to do a website on your own. Here's how that's going to actually cost you money. Another example of that could be, before I did this particular thing, I actually wasted tons of money. And that could be before you learn the concept of investing and the return on investment. Whatever it is, just different kinds of content that shows people that they're making mistakes and highlighting the fact that they need to stop making a particular mistake because it's causing them pain. Now, in terms of your event could be something like the strategy that allowed me to go from how much ever, wherever you were before to where you are now in terms of success. And in that class, you'll break down your strategy or whatever it is. Now, here's the thing. In that class, you want to break down the step-by-step process of everything they need to know before they actually invest in a product or service. So your class could be everything you need to have prepared before going to a graphic designer and asking a graphic designer to design your website. So your class could be how to write copy, or how to whatever it is. It could be different components, how to create your own logo, how to create a brand style guide, or whatever. And then from that class, you can kind of just like offer them a discounted price, or maybe even offer them your one-on-one package, because at the class they didn't get to finish everything or get to do it the way that they wanted to. And you can say, by the way, we talk about all the things that you need. You have everything gathered and you understand why you need these things. I actually do an all-inclusive service. And for those of you who are at this event, it's going to be an affordable price for you, right? So that's kind of how you want to transition. So now your event becomes a partner of your product or service. And it kind of works in tandem with whatever you're selling versus hurting it. And so it takes people from a natural, there's a natural transition between the content, your event, and your service. That's how it should go. It shouldn't be, no one knows who you are or have or heard of you or understand why your event is going on. And then you're like, oh, by the way, I have an event. Here's how to get tickets. And they're like, I don't see the value in this event. I don't know why I need to come. Or random people who are bored are like, let's go. It's a thing to do. Come to your event. Totally wrong people, wrong vibe, not really serious about web design or whatever it is you're trying to teach, right? And then when it's time to pitch your service, you feel like the total, like you don't have enough tickets, people there, or the people who actually do come buy nothing at your event. You don't want a situation like that to happen, because you remember, my goal is to help you use events to grow your business. My goal is not to help you have an event just for fun. It's going to be fun because you're doing what you love, but you want to make sure that your event is profitable and is valuable to your business. And the time that you're spending and investing into doing this event makes sense for your business. All right. So that's pretty much it for me. I want to also talk about a couple more things before I go. Number one, you want to make sure every piece of content or anything that you're putting out there has a purpose behind of it and is strategic and in alignment with your quarterly or your yearly business strategy. You also want to plan it out in advance. Don't try to start planning this month's content this month. Plan it the end of the month, last month, so you can have it ready for this month. or plan it the quarter before so that you can have everything kind of scheduled to go out this month, right? That's what you kind of want to do. So when you start to think of things that way, you start realizing that you don't want to just start doing an event today, or like, I'm going to do an event all of a sudden. Great, let me do an event. No, you don't want to do that at all. You also want to syndicate your content. So if you're going to put content out on your blog post, share it on your Instagram page, share it in your Facebook group, share it on your business page, and share it on in your email list. Let people know where your main content is so that everyone in your network has the access to that kind of content, and that you're able to now spread the word on a broader in a broader way versus just doing a blog post and then hoping and wishing that someone checks it out. Again, if you're looking for some assistance with how to plan out your business every quarter, I have a class. It's going to be linked below. So guys, I actually have an event strategy planner. This planner is specifically created to help you plan out your business event and grow your business using events. And so what's really good about this planner is that, you know, it's created by an online entrepreneur for online entrepreneurs who understand the logo of funnels and email marketing and Facebook ads and, you know, social media marketing. This actually breaks all those things down and gives you a place to plan all those things out. There isn't a planner like this on the market, and I found that there was a hole in the market for something like this. So I decided to fill that hole by creating this planner for any entrepreneur who is planning on using in-person classes or workshops to grow their business or sell their products and services. And so if you're in the place where you want to host an in-person class or workshop or a mini conference or a conference or seminar or launch party, any one of those things, this planner actually is specifically created to help you do that successfully. And so I talked about, you know, making sure that you're putting out the right kind of content, making sure you're planning things out in advance. This has planning pages, priority list pages. It has pages to help you get sponsors. All that kind of stuff is listed and put down in this planner. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below. I'll be happy to go ahead and answer those questions. And I'll leave the link to how you can purchase this planner in the comment section below. That's all for me today. I'll see you in the next video.